Hey, what's up you guys? Yes. I'm kidding. I'm really sorry if throughout this video I am channeling my inner Shane Dawson. I'm gonna really try to just be Ashley, but I've watched so many Shane Dawson conspiracy theory videos that it's gonna be tough. Also, I hope these flashing ghosts are not too distracting. Let me know how you feel about it. I feel like it's gonna bug me. Anyways, hey guys, so I'm trying to be creepy, but it's really hard because I'm just not good at being serious, but I'm gonna try really hard for this video. Today we're talking about Michael Jackson conspiracy theories. So just like many other really famous celebrities, Michael has a lot of conspiracy theories about his death, about just tons of things in his life. But one of the biggest conspiracy theories definitely has to be the conspiracy that Michael is still alive. So let's just start with a little background. Basically, the people that believe that Michael Jackson is alive, they call themselves believers, not like believers like Justin Bieber. Believers. It's believers, but the L-I-E in the middle of believe is capitalized, so when you look at it, all you can see are the big capital letters that say lie. And the reason it's like that is because people believe that Michael is lying about his death. I personally do not believe in these theories, even though some of them are pretty alarming, but if you do, I respect your opinion. Also, I'm not saying any of these theories are facts, they are simply theories. Let's get on with the video. So the first theory we're gonna get into is how the word believe came into the Moonwalker fandom. If you guys know who Chris Angel is, he is kind of like a magician. He does really crazy illusions, he makes people disappear. I remember watching his show on TV. Even though usually what happens on TV is not real, it does kind of make you think, maybe this could possibly be real. He had, I believe it was a show tour, he had this thing called Believe. In the ad for promoting it, there is actually a silhouette in the picture that looks kind of like Michael. There's also a white rabbit on this ad, and many people believe that that is Michael's way of saying that he is still with us. I know what you're thinking, what does that have to do anything with Michael? Well, it really didn't have to do anything with Michael until something surfaced that made people go, what? In the trial for Conrad Murray, there is a snippet of a video, and there's something that you see when the camera pans over to Conrad Murray that makes you just question your life. Yes, a white rabbit just sitting there. Like, what does that have to do with anything? Why is there a stuffed animal in the courtroom? You know, it just is weird that it's just sitting there all by itself. Another really weird thing about the Believe theory is that Michael's really talented, amazing guitarist. Sorry, I really like her, you guys. Her name is Orianthi, and he hired her for This Isn't It. She actually made an album, and guess what the album is called? Believe. That was basically where the whole Believe thing started happening. Now this, I really think this is what started people thinking that Michael is still alive. Not even gonna lie, this actually really got me, but this is the whole theory that Michael Jackson dressed up as Dave and went on CNN to do a live interview with Larry King. I remember watching this, and I wasn't even that big of a Michael fan when this came out. But even as a regular fan, Dave, just something about him reminded me of Michael. The voice, the mannerisms, the words he used when he spoke, his eyes, a lot of things reminded me of Michael. Also, I forgot to mention this, but I'm pretty sure most of you guys know the background story, but basically Michael paid for a lot of Dave's surgeries. He was burnt very badly. It's really sad because it happened to him when he was really young. So if you haven't seen that interview, here it is, and you can decide if you notice anything weird about this interview.
And Dave, yes, that's his name, Dave. He was David Rothenberg. He was set on fire in 1983, suffered, as you can see, terrible scars.
From the confines of my father's criminality. He heard about me, and he had contacted me. I was in interim. Oh, it's a very interesting story, Larry. The visit to his Encino house was very impromptu. And you know what, Larry? What? At that moment, we embraced. He did not pay for my medical. My mother had great insurance at the time.
Yeah, it's a little strange, especially at the beginning where He introduces Dave, and Dave seems to be kind of confused. He seems to be kind of worried, like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. I'm on TV right now. And why would he be like that? I mean, I'm sure that Dave has been on other TV shows before. So the voice definitely does sound like Michael. Again, the mannerisms and the way he words things. So after this, I tried to find interviews of Dave that were maybe more current and see if I was tripping, you know, or if that might have possibly been Michael dressed up as Dave. And I found this from The Doctors, which is a TV show.
I'm glad that I'm alive. I'm glad that I didn't miss living, and that is wonderful enough for me. It was kind of like an artistic decision to do that, almost. Currently, I'm undergoing a treatment called calamari.
I can kind of hear how his voice sounds a little bit like it did when he did the interview at CNN. There's still something off about it that just doesn't sound the way that it did at the CNN interview. Also, the way he words things, it just doesn't seem the same. Almost as if it was a different person on CNN. I kept researching other interviews and stuff, but I eventually stumbled across this video he shot of himself talking about something crazy. He's cursing, I don't even know what's going on. It's actually kind of funny.
What's up, motherfuckers? It's B Double D. I'm about to drop some records. Y'all be recognizing because I'll be socializing with your motherfuckers.
His voice is really deep in this clip. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Michael's voice could be really deep as well. There are a lot of videos where Michael's voice sounds really deep, particularly this one.
Thank you. This means the world to me, really does. Thank you so much. I'm a big fan, really.
Yeah. Literally, who is that bitch? Because it's not Michael. But apparently Michael's natural voice was pretty low, but he spoke in a higher register to maintain his ability to hit high notes, to maintain his amazing falsetto, bitch. You already know. But even so, the similarities are just really weird.
So these are some things I forgot to mention, but basically when I watched the CNN interview back, I noticed that Dave's face looks a lot shorter. It doesn't look as long, and his jaw looks really different. Also, if you didn't notice, Dave has naturally blue eyes, but in the CNN interview, his eyes look brown like Michael's. Also, I think that the Dave on Larry King, his eyebrows were more defined, if you get what I'm saying. It looks like he had really arched eyebrows like Michael, and the other Dave just looks like he doesn't have eyebrows, period. Also, I found this video of Dave talking to, I believe it's an interviewer, and he says that he is the greatest entertainer of all time.
In my comparison to other artists, I can feel and I know that I am the greatest artist in the world.
Now, he was probably just joking, but after seeing all of this and thinking that maybe Michael pretended to be him, even though it may be just a joke, it is still a little strange that he would say that.
When I found the interview of him on The Doctors, a lot of the comments that were not even huge MJ fan YouTube accounts, just regular people that liked MJ, were saying that this was not the person they had seen on the CNN interview. It just makes you think, maybe I'm not crazy for thinking that this could actually be Michael, because a lot of other people believe it too. So this next theory is pretty crazy as well. When I saw this, I literally lost my shit. So after Michael died and they were moving his body, two crazy things happened. The first thing was that Michael's body was put on a gurney and they transported him. People say that in this recording of his body on the plane, you can see the body bag move. Me personally, I feel like it's just the plane moving. I didn't really see a crazy movement. I didn't see nothing like poke out, so I don't know. Another really crazy thing that happened is that the coroner van that apparently transported Michael's body, and there's footage of them putting his body in the coroner's van, and on that coroner's van was the license plate number. Just remember that license plate number because you're about to be shook. So then there is another video of the exact same coroner van with the exact same license plate pulling in, and someone gets out from the back of the coroner van. What? So yeah, that's crazy. It's the same license plate number. A lot of people have said that this is actually fake. I do not know if that's true, but so many people are saying it's fake that I think it's fake. But if it's not fake, I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, then I might actually think Michael's alive. So this next part is actually really disturbing, and I was wondering if I should even talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway. There's been a lot of pictures of Michael going around on the internet for many years, and it shows pictures of him being allegedly dead. There's one of him in a coffin, but later on it was found out that that was definitely not real. The picture was literally taken from James Brown's funeral, and they basically just put Michael's head on James Brown's body. There was a photo that showed Michael with a mask over him on a gurney, and people said that that was real. Then there was the autopsy picture. Now, I do not know if this picture is real or not, but I really do believe it is real, and it is very disturbing. There's also a picture of Michael on a gurney in the hospital, and people say that it's fake, but I personally feel like it is real. I was wondering if I should put those pictures in, but it's just too disturbing to do that. I feel like this video would get flagged. I feel like it's overall very disrespectful to do. But if you really want to see those pictures, you can type it in on Google. It's very disturbing. I'm warning you. If you don't want to see that, please do not look it up. I zoomed in on the autopsy picture to show you guys the date that was next to Michael's body. The date reads 8/25/2009. Does that seem weird to you? Probably because that date reads August 25th, 2009. Michael died in June. How could you possibly mess up 2 months? I don't really know how that goes with the theory that he's alive. Something was a little off. Maybe that proves that the autopsy picture wasn't really Michael. So next thing I want to talk about is the Shirley Temple theory. This connects also with the Beatles. This one's kind of hard to explain. Basically, when the police did a search of Michael's house, they found a doll near a CD player. I'm pretty sure they found this doll in his bedroom, on his bed. I can't remember, but they did find it in his house. And the doll had curly blonde hair. A lot of people started saying that this doll reminded them of Shirley Temple. It doesn't look that much like Shirley Temple. This kind of goes with the Paul is dead theory as well, because many people believe he actually died. The Paul we have now is a clone. There's a lot going on with that. On the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club album, you can find Shirley Temple on there 3 different times. Somehow this connected to a movie that Shirley Temple was in. Her whole life she was told that her father was dead, but she went out to try to find her father, and turns out her father was actually alive. He had never died. Michael collapsed while rehearsing on December 6th, which just so happened to be around the time that Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club was being made. And on that day, Michael received 4 Shirley Temple posters. Shirley Temple was a huge child star in the 30s, and if you've ever watched Moonwalker or Smooth Criminal, you will notice that Michael walks into a place that says Club 30. The person that made a video on this, I can kind of see where they're getting this from, but at the same time, I don't. So basically the whole conspiracy over that is that when Michael entered Club 30 was when he decided that he was going to fake his death eventually. So some weird things about Michael's death. But Michael obviously needed a lot of security surrounding his house, the outside of his house, the inside of his house. Security cameras are definitely needed when you are Michael Jackson. So Michael had security cameras pretty much everywhere around his house, inside his house. There is surveillance footage of Michael coming home right before he died. What's really weird is that allegedly the security cameras stopped working after a certain time, and that time just so happened to be around the time that Michael died. But that just kind of makes you think, did Michael actually die? Really, the only person there was Conrad Murray. Another weird thing is symbolic messages on Michael's albums and his songs. I'm thinking about doing a whole video just on Michael's songs and the messages behind them, but this is just a weird thing that I found from Michael's Escape album and also Michael's Michael album. So on Michael's Michael album, apparently if you outline his lips, they say, "I live." I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I didn't see it, but after she outlined it, I saw it. And then the Escape album, apparently it says MJ Alive. pretty weird. Another thing that happened is that his family seems to slip up a lot when they talk about Michael. His family seems to talk about Michael in the present tense, as if he's still here. Personally, I don't feel like this is anything to be alarmed by. I don't really feel like it's anything monumental, but I will say that this one clip of Jermaine kind of did make me question, is it a slip up or is it the truth?
This is called This Is It, but this is really not it. There is going to be much more going on, but this is definitely it, but it's not the final curtain, no.
He really makes it sound like Michael is still here with us. So the last theory I'm going to talk about surrounds Michael's funeral. A lot of people believe that the funeral seemed not very legit. It just didn't seem that emotional. It just felt almost rehearsed. Me personally, I feel like that's really rude to say. I just don't see how anyone could get that vibe from it. I felt that the funeral was very emotional. I cried, you know, especially when Paris spoke. I never once felt like it was fake. Then people went on to say that there's pictures and videos of people laughing at the funeral, smiling. I actually have been to a funeral not that long ago, and it was a very emotional funeral for me to go to. However, there were moments definitely where I smiled and laughed because they were telling funny things that person did in their life that just made them laugh, and it made me laugh. So laughing at a funeral really doesn't seem that far-fetched. Michael, to me, has always been a really funny person, so I'm pretty sure most of those pictures are from when they were talking about good times with Michael. The next thing is people were freaking out that Michael's casket was not opened. Me personally, I feel like if I saw Michael's lifeless body in a casket, that would just be too much for me, so I respect 100% that they did not open the casket. I feel like it was also a privacy thing. Michael's funeral was viewed by millions, so it really doesn't alarm me that they didn't open the casket. I feel like that would have been too much for most people to take in, especially really big fans of Michael like myself. So a lot of people also believe that Michael attended his own funeral. Going back to the Dave theory, we all know that Michael is a master at disguise, so him dressing up as someone totally different is really not that surprising. There was a blonde woman and everyone said that her side profile looked like Michael. Not only did her side profile kind of look like Michael, there's also a picture of Janet staring right at this blonde lady. It's just kind of weird how she's staring right at this blonde woman. I will admit, that kind of got me a little shook. There was also a theory that Michael was an old man in the crowd, but I personally feel like if Michael was anyone in the crowd, it was definitely the blonde woman. Another weird thing is that when they went outside for Michael's funeral, there was a big difference in what we were seeing versus the overhead view of the funeral. So what we saw, there were lots of trees, and then when you look at the overhead view, the trees just disappear. I don't know, there's so many theories on Michael, but these were just a few that I found that really creeped me out.
So I forgot to mention this, but there was also a picture that Paris posted a while back, and she was in her car, and some people believe that in the back of her car Michael was sitting there. Later Paris said that it was just clothes and that her car was just a little messy, but it kind of does look like a fedora in the background. I don't know. All of these theories are pretty crazy, but in this day and age, honestly, anything could happen.
If you have any more, please let me know, and please let me know your thoughts about this, because even though I personally don't believe it, I still love to learn about how other people feel about it. My shout out for this week is Starchild. I hate talking like this. The shout out for this week is Starchild. We haven't been talking that long. I think she recently added me, but she's really sweet, and I just want to say thank you so much for supporting me and watching my videos. My next video will probably be a conspiracy theory as well, depending on how well this video goes. It will most likely be surrounding Michael's death. I love you guys so much. Bye!